Welcome to the Module 2 of Global Finance and Electronic Banking. This module evaluates the electronic banking applications, discusses its advantages and disadvantages, control measures and the implications of Anti-Money Laundering Act or AMLA in international business. So this module will help us evaluate the applications of electronic banking as a trading tool. These are the objectives of this module. First is to examine the application of electronic banking in global finance. Second, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of electronic banking. Third, assess utilization and control measures of electronic banking in the global marketplace. And fourth is discuss the implication of AMLA in international business. So overview muna. Let's discuss electronic banking. So the use of computers and telecommunications enables banking transactions to be done by telephone or computer rather than through human interaction. Its features include electronic funds transfer, for retail purchases, automatic teller machines or ATMs, and automatic payroll deposits and bill payments. Some bank offer home banking whereby a person with a personal computer can make transactions either via a direct connection or by accessing a website. Electronic banking has vastly reduced the physical transfer of paper money and coinage from one place to another or even from one person to another. Kung mapapansin ninyo, lalo na ngayong pandemic, mas naging komportable tayo ngayon dito sa mga online banking gamit yung mga cellphones natin. So let's discuss further. What is electronic banking? So it is a form of banking in which funds are transferred through an exchange of electronic signals rather than through an exchange of cash, checks, or other types of paper documents. So transfers of funds occur between financial institutions such as banks and credit unions. They also occur between financial institutions and commercial institutions such as stores. So whenever someone withdraws cash from an automated teller machine or ATM or pays for groceries using a debit card, the funds are transferred via electronic banking. So ayan, there are various electronic banking systems and they are ranged in size. An example of small system is an ATM network, a set of interconnected automated teller machines that are linked to a centralized financial institution and its computer system. So ang example naman ng large electronic banking system is the Federal Reserve Wire Network called FedWire, which allows participants to handle large, time-sensitive payments such as those required to settle real estate transactions. Yan yung konting background sa ating electronic banking. So let's discuss the importance of e-banking. So businesses rely on efficient and rapid access to banking information for cash flow reviews, auditing, and daily financial transaction processing. E-banking offers ease of access, secure transactions, and 24-hour banking options. From small startup companies to more established entities, small businesses rely on e-banking to eliminate runs to the bank and to make financial decisions with updated information. In an information-driven business climate, companies who do not use e-banking are at a competitive disadvantage. So isa-isahin natin yung mga importance of e-banking. First, business activity review. So with e-banking, business owners, accounting staff, and other approved employees can access routine banking activities such as deposits, cleared checks, and wired funds quickly through an online banking interface. This ease of review helps ensure the smooth processing of all banking transactions on a daily basis rather than waiting for monthly statements. Errors or delays can be noted and resolved quicker, potentially before any business impact is felt. Before, kung wala kang online banking, kailangan mo pang mag-request sa bank ng summary of transactions mo or monthly statements mo kung saan makikita mo yung mga naging deposits and naging withdrawals mo within the month. Pero dahil online na, kahit araw-araw, anytime, anywhere, basta may internet ka, ma-access mo na siya. So kapag meron kang mga questions sa mga transactions, pwede mo siya agad ma-resolve. Next is it improved business productivity. So e-banking leads to productivity gains, automating routine bill payments, minimizing the need to physically visit the bank, and the ability to work as needed rather than on banking hours may decrease the time involved in performing routine bank activities. Additionally, online search tools, banking actions, and other programs can allow staff members to research transactions and resolve banking problems on their own without interacting with bank employees. So in some cases, month-end reconciliations for credit card transactions and bank accounts can be automated by using e-banking files. So dahil nga online na, hindi na nila kailangan pumunta sa bangko para makipag-transact, which leads to productivity gains kasi nakakatipid ka din ng oras. Next is lower banking costs. Banking relationships and costs are often based on resource requirements. Businesses that place more demands on banking employees and need more physical assistance with wire transfers, deposits, research requests, and other banking activities often incur higher banking fees. Opting for e-banking minimizes business overhead and banking expenses. Next is reduced banking errors. So utilizing e-banking reduces banking errors. Automation of payments, wires, or other consistent financial activities ensures payments are made on time and may prevent errors caused by keyboard slips or user error. Additionally, opting for electronic banking eliminates errors due to poor handwriting or mistaken information. So in many cases, electronic files and daily reviews of banking data can be used to double or triple check vital accounting data, which increases the accuracy of financial statements. So mas lesser yung error kapag e-banking. Unlike before, kapag mali yung sulat mo, mali yung pagkakabasa, so magkakaroon ng error. Eh ngayon, kunwari may ita-transfer akong fund sa ibang bank account. Usually, iko-confirm muna yung may confirmation na magaganap. Kunwari, i-input mo yung one-time password or OTP kung tama yung na-input mong amount, i-verify nila yon. So, kapag nag-agree ka na tama na yung info, i-input mo lang yung OTP na sinend sa number mo. So, may mga pang-check sila kapag e-banking. So, it reduced banking errors. Next is, it increases scrutiny and reduce fraud. Increased scrutiny of corporate finances through audits and anti-fraud measures requires a high level of visibility for all financial transactions. Relying on e-banking provides an electronic footprint for all accounting personnel, managers, and business owners who modified banking activities. So e-banking offers visibility into banking activities, which makes it harder for under-the-table or fraudulent activities to occur. So these are the key takeaways for the topic. First is online banking allows a user to conduct financial transactions via the internet. Consumers aren't required to visit a bank branch in order to complete most of their basic banking transactions. And last is a customer needs a device, an internet connection, and a bank card to register. Once registered, the consumer sets up a password to begin using the service. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of electronic banking? Itong mga sasabihin ko ay naka-include din naman sa inyong module. So first, an online account is simple to open and easy to operate. So this is one of the advantages. However, sa disadvantage, understanding the use of internet banking might be difficult at first. That said, there are some sites which offer a demo video on how to access online accounts. Pero hindi lahat ng bangko ay may ganitong offer. So a person who is new to technology might face some difficulty. Another advantage, it's convenient because you can easily pay your bills and transfer your funds between accounts from nearly anywhere in the world. So kahit nasa US ako, nasa Philippines ka, pwede ako mag-fund transfer sa'yo. Or pwede ako magbayad ng bills ko. However, disadvantage, you cannot have access to online banking if you don't have an internet connection. Thus, without the availability of internet access, it may not be useful. Another advantage, you do not have to stand in a queue to pay for your bills. Hindi mo kailangang pumila. Also, you do not have to keep receipts of all of your bills as you can now easily view your transactions online. For the disadvantage, security of transactions is a big issue. Your account information might get hacked by unauthorized people over the internet. Another advantage, it is available all the time. Pwede mo siyang i-check anytime. You can perform your tasks from anywhere and at any time, even at night, or on holidays when the bank is closed. Kung may babayaran akong bill, pwede akong magbayad kahit holiday kasi online naman. Kung magpa-fund transfer ako, pwede akong mag-fund transfer anytime. So the only thing you need to have is an active internet connection. However, for the disadvantage, password security is a must. So after receiving your password, change it and memorize it. Otherwise, your account may be misused. Another advantage, it is fast and efficient. Funds get transferred from one account to the other very fast. You can also manage several accounts easily through internet banking. However, sa disadvantage, your banking information may be spread out on several devices, making it more at risk. Another advantage, you can keep an eye on your transactions and account balance all the time. Pero, disadvantage, if the bank's server is down, then you cannot access your accounts. Kasi minsan, kahit may internet ka, kung yung website nila, makikita mo, hindi mo ma-access kasi may nakalagay under maintenance. So, disadvantage din yun. Another advantage, you can get to know about any fraudulent activity or threat to your account before it can pose any severe damage. So, pag may nakita ka na-withdraw sa account mo, pwede ka agad gumawa ng action. For the disadvantage, if the bank's server is down due to the loss of net connectivity or slow connection, then it might be hard to know if your transaction went through. So, for example, magfa-fund transfer ako, bigla akong nawalan ng internet or biglang naging down yung system. So ngayon, mahihirapan ako kung na-transfer ko ba yun or hindi. Kasi hindi ko siya ma-check until bumalik yung server nila or bumalik yung internet connection ko. Another advantage, it's a great medium for the banks to endorse their products and services. Disadvantage, you might get overly marketed to and become annoyed by notifications. That said, this can easily be turned off. Another advantage, More online services include loans and investment options. Pero disadvantage, you might become annoyed by constant emails and updates. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of electronic banking. So let's discuss the risk control of electronic banking. So the traditional commercial bank was given new trade channels. Businesses field and development opportunities because of electronic banking business, but electronic banking businesses still face much risks. So the challenges and subject of electronic banking is to research and the effective control in dealing with the risk of business. So i-enumerate ko na lang to, pero you may read your module para mas maintindihan nyo yung details ng mga to. So first is access to electronic banking market must be strict. Next, follow the rules of electronic banking application. Strict approval of electronic banking. Follow the termination rules of electronic banking. Improve the risk management system of electronic banking. The system of encrypting client and identity. Information disclosure system of the bank. Service agreement. Electronic equipment safety measures. Emergency treatment measures, and safety assessment measures. So ito yung mga risk control of electronic banking. Again, the details of this risk control are discussed in your module. Let's discuss further. Let's discuss now about the AMLA or Anti-Money Laundering Act in International Businesses. So what is AMLA or anti-money laundering or AML? So this anti-money laundering refers to the laws, regulations, and procedures intended to prevent criminals from disguising illegally obtained funds as legitimate income. Though anti-money laundering laws covers a limited range of transactions and criminal behavior, their implications are far-reaching. For example, AML regulations require banks and other financial institutions that issue credit or accept customer deposits to follow rules that ensure they are not aiding anti-money laundering. So, paano ba nagwo-work itong anti-money laundering? So AML laws and regulations target criminal activities including market manipulation, trade in illegal goods, corruption of public funds and tax evasion, as well as the methods used to conceal these crimes and the money derived from them. So criminals often launder money they obtain through illegal acts such as drug trafficking, so the funds cannot be easily traced to them. So kumbaga, launder daw, pinapalinis nila yung pera na nakuha nila sa illegal na gawain. So ito yung anti-money laundering. So one common technique is to run the money through a legitimate cash-based business owner by the criminal organization or its confederates. So the supposedly legitimate business deposits the money. Kunwari may isang business. So yung pera na galing sa illegal, ide-deposit ngayon ng isang legal na business na pwedeng i-withdraw ngayon ng criminal. So magiging malinis na yung pera. Money launderers may also sneak cash into foreign countries to deposit. So, pwede nilang itakas, dalhin sa abroad para ma-deposit nila doon. So, deposit cash in smaller increments to avoid arousing suspicion. So, paunti-unti, ide-deposit nila somewhere abroad. So, or it may be used or use illicit cash to buy other cash instruments. So, pwede nilang i-invest sa kung saan-saan ng maliliit para hindi maging suspicious. So, ganun yung money laundering. So launderers will sometimes invest the money using dishonest brokers willing to ignore the rules in return for large commissions. Kasi usually kapag ah, i-invest ka sa mga broker, syempre kailangan nilang alamin kung bakit may gano'n ka kalaking pera. Pero yung ibang mga dishonest brokers daw, ini-ignore nila itong rule na 'to. Wala silang pakialam kung saan mo nakuha yung pera na yun. Kasi basta mag-invest ka sa kanila. Kasi dun sila makakakuha ng malaking commission. One rule in place is the AML holding period, which requires deposits to remain in an account for a minimum of 5 trading days. So this holding period is intended to help in anti-money laundering and risk management. So how will we report suspicious activity? So it's up to financial institutions to monitor customer deposits and other transactions to ensure they aren't part of money laundering scheme. So the institutions must verify the origin of large sums, saan ba galing yung malalaking pera, monitor suspicious activities, and report cash transactions exceeding $10,000. So in addition to complying with AML laws, financial institutions must ensure clients are aware of them. So money laundering investigations by law enforcement often involve scrutinizing financial records for inconsistencies or suspicious activity. In today's regulatory environment, extensive records are kept on just about every significant financial transaction. So when police attempt to trace a crime to its perpetrators, few methods are more effective than examining the records of connected financial transactions. So in cases of robbery, embezzlement, or larceny, law enforcement are often able to return the funds of or property uncovered during a money laundering investigation to the victims of the crime. So for example, if an agency discovers money a criminal laundered to cover up embezzlement, the agency can usually trace it back to those from whom funds were embezzled. So, key takeaways. First, the use of electronic banking has always been with advantages and disadvantages. Before choosing an online bank, it's important to decide what features are most important to you. The lack of overhead gives internet banks advantages over traditional banks, including fewer or lower fees and accounts with higher APYs. Internet banks lack personal relationships, no proprietary ATMs, and more limited services. And anti-money laundering or AML seeks to deter criminals by making it harder for them to hide ill-gotten money. And next is criminals use money laundering to conceal their crimes and the money derived from them. And last is AML regulations require financial institutions to monitor customers' transactions and report on suspicious financial activity. So before I end this, I will leave this quotation, or this is the statement of Brett King in an interview in 2017. Sabi niya, at 2030, I would say that you probably have 2 billion people that will be using day-to-day banking services independent of banks. So sa tingin niya mangyayari to sa 2030? So, yan. So, if you have any other questions, again, pwede kayong mag-chat sa ating MS Teams or sa ating FB Messenger. And reminder lang, there are activities at the end of your module. Pwede nyo na siyang sagutan bago pa ako mag-post kung saan nyo isasubmit yung mga outputs nyo. So, again, if you have any questions, you may chat. You may send a message. Thank you.